Hey guys, I'm Jeremy Yoder from Mad Scientist Barbecue, and today I'm going to show you how to make delicious chicken fajitas on your Pits and Spits pellet grill. Let's start off by talking about the ingredients you need. First, we have our chicken, and it's been marinating for about 6 hours now, and we're going to include the recipe for that marinade. It's very simple. We're going to include it right here. Next, we have our bell peppers, and I chose 3 different colors because I think the colors look good, but in terms of flavor, there's not going to be a lot of difference. Any kind of bell peppers you can find in the store will work. And then finally, we have some white onion, and they're cut so they're strips of onion rather than chunks of onion, so it cooks down really well for our fajitas here. And for the recipe we're using today, we have 1 pound of chicken. We're using about a bell pepper and a half, and we're using just over a half of a large white onion. Now you can adjust these based on your flavor preferences, but for me, this is perfect. Finally, there are 2 other things that I always have on hand. Number 1 is salt and pepper. It's kosher salt and coarse ground black pepper in a 50-50 mix. And then also we have some cooking oil. This is just regular, plain old, non-fancy vegetable oil, and it works great for these fajitas. And now for our tools, it couldn't be too much simpler than this. Of course, we have our magnificent pellet grill in the background. Then we have a cast iron pan, and then I prefer to use a wooden spoon to stir it all around. Couldn't be much more simple than this, but it works so well that there's no need to change it. Now for the grill setup today, you can use any kind of pellets that you want. I am really partial to the hickory for grilling. I don't know why, I just love that hickory flavor when I grill. You can also use mesquite. Mesquite is excellent, and because when you're grilling, it's such a short cook that the mesquite flavor can't possibly be overpowering. Any kind of good quality pellet will work really well for this recipe. Just find your flavor preference and use that for any kind of food you want. There are a lot of lists that say you can only use this wood for this kind of meat. I say whatever you think tastes the best, use that. For me, it's hickory for grilling. Now with those pellets in the hopper, we have this thing set to 350 degrees, and I have the trap door open. So I can use this cast iron directly over the heat, or I can move it off to the side if things are getting too hot, and I can just shift it based on my needs. It works super well. It's very easy. You can get, with this cast iron, incredibly good cooking and caramelization on these vegetables and on the chicken. Now to get started, I'm going to take about 2 tablespoons of oil, put it in this cast iron pan, and put that over the trapdoor. When the oil starts to smoke, that's when I want to add my vegetables. And I want to cook the vegetables first because I want to get the right level of doneness on those before I cook the chicken. After we pull off the vegetables, we're going to cook the chicken in the same pan. And we want to cook the chicken independently so that we make sure that we don't overcook the chicken and we don't undercook the chicken. But right when the chicken is getting done, we're going to add our vegetables back in, mix it all together so all the flavors marry, and then we're going to have amazing fajitas that you can use in a number of different ways. You can put them on tortillas, you can eat them with rice, you can eat them just by themselves. They're so good, I do that a lot of times. So that's our process, and we're going to get started by cooking these vegetables up. After a couple minutes, our pan is nice and hot. We're going to add these vegetables. I like to add a little bit of salt and pepper to keep the salt content even between the vegetables and the chicken. And you want to stir these vegetables regularly to make sure that nothing burns. As these vegetables cook down, we want them to soften up but not turn into mush because we still want some texture there. Also, as the onions cook down, they caramelize and provide a very subtle sweetness that really offsets the spice and savoriness of the marinade on our chicken. Just so you know, I am wearing a double layer of glove liners underneath this glove. So when I pull out this pan in a minute, that's how I'm able to grab it and not burn my hand. All right, time for the chicken. We don't need to add extra oil because there's already oil in the marinade. It smells like an amazing Mexican restaurant out here. If there are any foods that really make my mouth water when I smell them, it's these. Chicken's done, time to add the vegetables. After just a minute to marry all the flavors together and reheat the vegetables, now it's time to serve. Now I used a clean spoon to transfer the fajitas from the cast iron to this plate because I don't want any cross-contamination with raw chicken and cooked chicken. Now, if you want to eat this with tortillas, with rice, or just by itself, this is a delicious and easy way to make incredible food. And the last thing we have to do is try it. Now I like to get some bell pepper, some onion, and some chicken in every bite, so you get kind of a flavor explosion, all the things melting together. So I couldn't be more excited. Man, that's good. The lime comes through. You get the savoriness of the cumin. You get some char on the vegetables, which I love. And you just get just a harmony of flavors that's really hard to come by. I love these. I suggest you go make them. They're super simple, super cheap. You just have to buy some chicken breast and slice it up. Amazing.